Hello, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm actually going to start off this video here because today I'm going to be talking about all of the ways that I'm preparing my body and my mind for labor in the third trimester. I am 30 weeks pregnant this week. A little bubble shot here, which is crazy to me. I still am caught in that surreal feeling of we are 75% there. We're almost to meeting little baby. About 2 months, 4 days left. My mind is blown. But with that being said, I feel like a lot of people focus on getting the nursery ready, making sure they have enough diapers and onesies, picking out the cutest name in the world, all of that kind of good stuff, which is amazing. And don't get me wrong, definitely do that if you're pregnant. However, what I feel like some women miss out on is the fact that we also need to be getting our body and mind ready for labor, no matter what that's going to look like. What a break. For me, I'm hoping that looks like a natural birth without pain medication. With birth plans, of course, not everything can go to plan, but there are some things that we can do that are within our control to hopefully get a better outcome at the end of the day. Having a healthy birth for you and baby is so crucial to that first kind of bond with you and baby, making sure that we don't have any trauma we need to clear up and that our body can heal a little quicker. While I'm rambling on, you might be wondering why we're starting in the kitchen, and that's because 2 of these things that are critical for labor preparing are actually found in here. This raspberry leaf tea has been my best friend. I started this at 28 weeks pregnant with my doctor's permission, of course, and a lot of studies have found that raspberry leaf tea actually helps strengthen the uterus, which provides more effective and efficient contractions and can inevitably get your baby out a lot quicker, which is good news for everybody involved, of course. The way I prepare this is I actually get a cup of boiling water. I just microwave mine right now. You can also warm it up on the stovetop. I put it in a mug over 1 tea bag, and then I let it sit for 15 minutes. I've found that if you steep it for the full 15 minutes, you're gonna get the best flavor profile. And as far as flavor goes, it's actually fairly mild. It reminds me a lot of just some regular Lipton black tea without sweetener. Of course, you can always put honey or a little bit of sugar to make it a little more fun for you. I've heard that some women really like this iced in the summertime. I am a summer pregnancy, but I haven't tried this yet. And even mixed with lemonade. So there's a lot of options to do this. However, I fully do recommend it just because what we know about it scientifically is a lot of studies are pointing to its effectiveness, but there are no studies pointing to it being dangerous. Of course, check with your doctor and make sure it's okay to do. But that's something I thought I would start on sooner rather than later. That way I can get the most of the effects. Another thing that I'm doing is I am taking a woman's care probiotic. Again, this is recommended by my doctor specifically and the nurse I consulted with in our birthing class. But the reason I'm doing this is because it can potentially lower the risk and the chance of having group B strep. Of course, if you do test positive for group B strep, happening around 36 to 37 weeks is when they typically do that test. That just means that you have to be on antibiotics throughout your labor. Not only is it helpful for that, but this also is helpful for regulating some of that digestive upset that you might be having in the last trimester and helping everything continue going smoothly, if you know what I mean. While we're in the kitchen, let's talk about dates. These bad boys are pitted dates that I got from Costco. I think I got the whole container for about $12, and it has been lasting me for over a month already. They keep well in the fridge, you just have to make sure they keep refrigerated. And the reason that I'm eating dates is because studies have also shown that eating 4 dates a day in the last few weeks of pregnancy actually can decrease your labor time by as much as half, which for a first-time mom, the average labor can go anywhere from 24 hours onwards, including that first stage. So anything I can do to shorten that and potentially make labor a little more enjoyable and a little more easy for my body to handle is something that I'm gonna do. As far as the dates go, this is what they look like. They have a very mild flavor as well. They're very, very sweet, very sugary, very concentrated with sugar. So if you do have gestational diabetes or anything like that, definitely check with your doctor before ingesting these. They also are very calorically dense. So for me, the nice thing about that is adding these dates actually accounts for those extra calories that I need during the day to sustain a healthy pregnancy. That way I don't have to worry as much about, am I getting enough calories? The nice thing about these bad boys is even though they're very sugary, they actually are fairly low for how sugary they are on the glycemic index. And so they're not causing those intense blood sugar drops. I know with the studies, most of the studies have shown that it's effective when done from 36 weeks onwards. However, in consultation with my doctor, I found that there's really no risk for me to start eating them a little bit sooner as well. Hey, hello, it is a new day, and I thought I would talk a little bit about how I'm mentally preparing for labor. I'm also in the kitchen again because I forgot that one of my essential things is also in here for my mental labor prep, and that is, drum roll. Oh, not fully frozen. But it's ice! I'm actually using ice and ice water to prepare for labor mentally a little bit, and here's how. The concept behind it is if you prepare your body to experience minor discomfort for 60 seconds while breathing through it, then you'll be more prepared for a contraction. Because of course, we're practicing breathing over here. We're practicing different styles of breathing. If you want any information on that, you can go ahead and comment down below. But practicing breathing when you're at a completely calm state doesn't necessarily compare to what we're going to experience in labor. So I highly recommend doing that. Not fully the most comfortable, but that is one thing I'm doing. The next thing is I am actually making some affirmations. I made this affirmation deck using Canva. They have a bunch of free templates on there, so I definitely recommend going onto Canva. I have Canva Pro, so I got some of the cute little pregnancy icons, but they have other graphics you can use for free. And I just printed this out. We're real over here, we're keeping it real, and I didn't want to spend $30 on an affirmation deck that I might not ever use again. I got that, I got some dollar store index cards, and I also got some transparent plastic to sort of laminate both sides of it. That way if there's any fluids during labor, which spoiler alert, there probably will be, I can hopefully keep them a little more clean and a little less gross for the duration of it. Last outfit change, and I am ready to finish up the video. Not because I don't love you guys, but because I am a sleepy girl and I am in my pajamas. I can tell Frank is also a little bit ready for bed here. But I want to talk about the last and most important part of my labor prep, and that is mindset changes. So this includes meditation, setting boundaries, and surrounding myself with positive birth stories. Boundaries, 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 boundaries. I can't say that enough. Being able to say, hey, I don't want to hear your negative birth stories. It's really beautiful that people want to share their knowledge and share their experiences with you. And I think for the most part, it comes from a really good place of wanting you to be in the know of what they believe labor is just like. But this is your reminder that just because other people have a negative birth experience doesn't mean you're going to. And when you let in that negative information, it can actually subtly change your mindset and make it harder for you to focus on the positive birth experience that you want. And that brings me to my last tip and my last thing I'm doing for preparing for labor, and that is ingesting positive birth content. And that comes in the form of YouTube vlogs. I love, love, love watching positive, unmedicated YouTube birth vlogs, as well as medicated ones, C-section ones. All of these positive birth experiences that come in all these different shapes and forms have been so impactful to me because it shows that not only is birth something that is very normal, very natural, but even if there are complications that arise, even if I do have to have more interventions that I want, then it's still going to be possible to have a beautiful, positive birth as long as my mindset's good going into it. The other way I'm ingesting that is encouraging family and friends to share with me what they loved about being pregnant, what was their favorite part about birth. Because again, they want to share with you a lot of times, but if you redirect them into sharing the good parts of it, I promise that for most of them, even if they had a lot of trauma, there are some good parts that they would love to share with you as well. Of course, I'm also going to be prepping my labor bag. I'm going to be making sure that I pack a few other essentials like a labor comb, as well as a scarf so that we can do some different support positions, me and my husband, to relieve some of that pressure. But I'm gonna do all of that in a later video where I talk about my birth bag, what I'm packing for me, baby, and my husband. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed. As well as I'm gonna be sharing my own positive labor blog, hopefully, as well as a birth story, some newborn days, and the end of my pregnancy, how things are going. Be sure to subscribe. You're not gonna wanna miss this. And go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Leave me a comment if you have any positive birth experiences yourself that you want to share, or any ways that you're preparing for your labor, whatever that's going to look like. Remember, Mama, you've got this. Millions of women around the world are going to be giving birth at the exact same time as you, and it's something that our bodies are created to do. And I know that you are going to give it your all, and you're going to be exactly what your baby needs in that moment. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful, fabulous day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.